we're going to be eating some of the most iconic foods and visiting some of the most famous restaurants here in Washington, DC. And it wouldn't be a famous DC food tour without a stop here in Georgetown at a very famous tavern. Martin's Tavern is known for serving every US president from Harry S. Truman all the way through George W. Bush. John F. Kennedy actually used to frequent this place when he lived in the neighborhood, and right behind me is the first booth. It's the Rumble booth. It's where he drafted his inaugural speech. On the other side of Jeremy is the third booth. It is where John F. Kennedy proposed to Jackie. He proposed right here in this tavern, in that booth right there. And we're actually sitting in the Nixon booth. So there's all kinds of others like LBJ. There's all kinds of cool stuff in here, and it's just really neat in here. But we did get our food, so let's eat.
I got the Chesapeake Benedict, which has crab cakes served on fried green tomatoes with hollandaise sauce. I mean, I've had some pretty good crab cakes recently, but those are quite good.
I got the challah French toast. Challah
French toast.
French toast. I don't think you can ever go wrong with challah French toast. It just makes really good French toast. It's really good. I guess the Richard Nixon booth is named so because he used to sit at this booth and he loved the meatloaf, according to the Atlas Obscura website anyway. That was really good. And also, one thing I was reading while we were in there, they have a little link to a section on their website, and this place was opened in 1933 by a Major League Baseball player, Billy Martin. So I guess it's like his fourth generation, like his grandson, great-grandson that runs it now. So it's been in the family all these years.
Since we were in Georgetown, we decided to take a little walk and get a little dessert here at Georgetown Cupcakes, who are so popular now that they have 7 locations across the country.
It all started in Georgetown in 2008. They've been in this spot here since 2009. They had to move because their cupcakes were such a hit, they couldn't keep up the demand in their other location. We have got ourselves some cupcakes. They are only doing online ordering right now, so make sure you check their website for the latest hours and information. And make sure you get your order in ahead of time because they've got tons and tons of orders in there, and yeah, you might have to wait a while if you try to order it too soon. We, I think, are gonna let future us taste these out because we have more food to try. So future us is gonna let you know how we like these cupcakes.
Well, aside from getting a little dinged up in the car at home, they look quite lovely.
I got a chocolate peanut butter and a raspberry cream cheese, or raspberry cheesecake? Raspberry cheesecake.
All right.
Peanut butter icing is delicious and peanut buttery, and the cake is nice and moist, and it's got a little bit of chocolate like ganache on top. It's pretty good.
I got the red velvet because not only is that my favorite kind of cupcake, but that is their #1 go-to specialty, most popular cupcake they have. I thought it was so interesting sounding. It's a lavender Earl Grey tea cake. It's a Madagascar vanilla cupcake that's infused with lavender sugar and Earl Grey tea. And then the icing is a buttercream frosting that is also an Earl Grey flavor, and it's topped with lavender sugar. It just sounded really interesting. Oh. It's a good cupcake. The cake is a little dry. I don't know if that's because it sat in the car for a couple hours or what, but it's good. The buttercream frosting, the cream cheese frosting is so good. It's phenomenal. I love this one. Cake is super moist. You can taste the Earl Grey. Like, it has an Earl Grey flavor, which I wasn't sure what that would be like in a cupcake. But the combination of that and the lavender, it's just like a subtle sweetness to it. And it's really good. Yeah, that one is the highlight for me. I'm also very picky about red velvet though, so I don't know. I'll have to give the red velvet a try another time, but definitely love the lavender Earl Grey. Jeremy got the raspberry swirl cheesecake, which sounds also really interesting. It's a raspberry swirl cheesecake that's baked with fresh raspberries, and it has a graham cracker crust on it, and a nice Madagascar vanilla buttercream frosting on top.
Oh yeah, you can see the graham cracker crust bottom. Oh man.
Even better than the chocolate one?
It is really like a little cheesecake. Oh my gosh, wow, that's really good. I don't know, it's definitely in competition with that peanut butter one.
Okay, now try mine.
Ooh, That is very pleasant. I like that a lot. It is weird to think of a tea flavor in a cupcake, but it works. That's good. The icing's really good. It is the driest out of all of them. So I can see where you were like a little underwhelmed by that part of it, but it's good though, I like it.
Jeremy definitely picked the winner cupcakes. I don't know which one I even like better. Like, that chocolate peanut butter was just so decadent. The chocolate was so rich. The cupcake was so moist. But then also, his cheesecake was like a legit little cheesecake. It was delicious. And as far as cheesecakes, probably one of the best cheesecakes I've ever had. So I don't think a single one of those was bad, but definitely Jeremy picked the winners today. Georgetown Cupcakes is not too far away from the Exorcist house. Like right here, we're walking up to Prospect Street. It is just down that way, just a little ways. So if you want to watch the filming locations, well, if it's available, it'll be right here. Otherwise, you'll have to stay tuned because that will be something we'll be visiting later.
If Washington, D.C. has an official food, it's probably the half smoke. You can find them in carts and restaurants all over the place, but we're gonna try them in a place that's named after them, Half Smoke.
It's so loud in here that I'm not even really sure what I ordered, but she said watermelon sugar, and I was like, that's a Harry Styles song, I'll have that. So I got something called watermelon sugar. Jeremy looked it up, and I think it's tequila and watermelon.
Triple sec.
Triple sec. Sounds good. Ooh. It tastes good too. Honestly, I asked what beers were on tap, and somehow we ended up with this, and I like it. I didn't need a beer, because watermelon sugar is a high.
These sausages are a staple of barbecues, and they are the official dog of the Washington Nationals. Why they're called half smokes is kind of complicated. They are made with half pork and half beef. They're also split in half a lot of the times when they're cooked. They are smoked. Some people even think it's because their texture is in between a hot dog and a sausage.
Is it standard for them to have cheese sauce and bacon and French onions on them?
I think that's a fancy version of it. That they can do anything from ketchup and mustard to something like this.
Okay.
It definitely has a snap more like a sausage than a hot dog. It's got a really smoky flavor. And their toppings that they put on here, pretty tasty.
They're popping?
The toppings are popping.
Toppings are popping. I like that this bread is kind of like a giant piece of Texas toast.
Yeah.
It's super soft. I don't know how to tackle this. was not how you do it. That is delicious though. Yeah, it has such a wonderful flavor. It really is kind of like half hot dog, half like bratwurst or something. It's really good. And the toppings are popping. Another DC staple is mumbo or mumbo sauce. It is a sweet, sticky sauce that they will put on anything from French fries to fried chicken. I guess it originated in Chicago in the 50s, but you can find it here in DC all over the place, like anywhere from an upscale restaurant to a burger joint. Here at Half Smoke, they serve the mumbo sauce as a side with chicken wings. And as someone who doesn't normally love chicken wings, these look like pretty good chicken wings.
It's sweet and citrusy. It is kind of like a sweet and sour sauce mixed with like ketchup. It's pretty good though, I like it.
Yeah, it's pleasant. It definitely does remind me of like a sweet and sour sauce, or even like the red sauce at a Chinese restaurant.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty good. I would like to try it on something else because chicken wings aren't my favorite thing, but these are pretty good chicken wings, so yeah, it's a hit for me. Definitely like the Half Smoke the best though.
Don't worry, the check is in a Scooby-Doo VHS box.
That was delicious. After having a couple wings, I can say that yes, I am a fan of both their wings and the mumbo sauce. Also, I thought coming into this that the Half Smoke just sounded like a glorified hot dog. It's not, at least any of them that are as good as that one. That was seriously one of the best hot dogs or brats or whatever you want to call it. It was delicious, and I would highly recommend if you come to like one place in DC, get that here. So Jeremy and I have done a little bit of a switching around thing where I normally plan things and he normally edits. We've kind of been switching it up, and he's been planning more and I've been editing more. So he planned the things that we did today, and when he planned this place, I had no idea it was in such a cool neighborhood. But this is actually called Adams Morgan, and it is really hip. It's got cool vibes. There's like cool street art everywhere. And I love it, and I want to move to this neighborhood now. It's the hippest part of Washington, D.C. that we've been to.
Ethiopian food has been a big deal in DC since the 1980s and 90s when the Ethiopian Civil War was going on. But Ethiopian food is always a big deal to Kara, so I'm sure she's ready to get some injera.
Jeremy's right. I love Ethiopian food, and this place, Zenobic, is supposed to have some good Ethiopian food and injera. So this place actually started in 1993 as a family business as a injera bakery, which is this stuff right here. This is injera. The bakery was serving markets and restaurants all over the DC area, and in 1999 they decided to branch out and start serving more than just making injera, and they have a restaurant that has been here since 2017. If you have never had Ethiopian food, my recommendation would be to try a place that does a buffet, which may be hard to find right now, but that would give you like the best introduction to what you may or may not like. However, my personal preference, shout out to my friend Rachel, because she introduced me to this, and this is like the giant all veggie combo platter. Sometimes, depending on the place you go, they will have different items that they offer, but they'll usually have like, you can pick a few or you can just get them all. And today we got them all. These are all, I believe, even vegan options, right? They're vegan? I think they're all vegan. The fact that they started as an injera bakery tells me that this is going to be a delight. The green beans are really good. I love the flavors of Ethiopian food.
This is either collard greens or spinach. I think it's collard greens, so we have both.
What are you going for? It's right here. Okay. The beets?
Beets, pretty good. I'm not sure what that is, but I like it.
Now comes the good part. When you've kind of picked it apart like this, and you can start getting some of the edges of the injera that it's sitting on, then you can start eating the juicy goodness that all the juices have soaked into from the things. This is the best part. I think we made a pretty good dent on that. That was amazing. We've obviously had some fantastic food all day today. So if you want to see more food videos like this, make sure you hit this playlist right here, and we will see you with some more Washington, D.C. soon.